Welcome to First Unitarian Church of Orlando. I'm Julia Chinnock, a member of the worship team here at 1U. With me in today's service are our minister, Reverend Margalie Belizaire, Director of Lifespan Religious Education, Judith Stein-Farrall, Director of Music, Aubrey Connelly-Candelario. We also have our board president, Joan Nelson, and membership committee members, Allison McMillan and Kathy Humlet. And let's not forget our teams of wonderful people in the background working diligently to ensure that we come together this morning. So thank you so much to our tech team, our flower team, our welcome team, our musicians, our childcare team, and so many others. We welcome all to join us as we explore our Unitarian Universalist faith, which draws us into a community of justice seekers with a commitment to lifelong spiritual growth and compassionate service to the community. Whoever you are, whoever you love, you are welcome here. You're welcome here regardless of your color, national origin, gender, sexual orientation, age, physical or mental abilities, economic status, or religious background. We welcome you. For more information about our congregation and announcements, you can go to orlandouu.org or email info@orlandouu.org. We have a couple special announcements for today. We have holiday services coming up, so be sure to take a look at the list of our special services in December. It's posted in the weekly update. You might want to pay close attention to Christmas Day because Christmas falls on a Sunday this year. So we're planning a contemplative and laid-back service in our pajamas in Gore Hall with cookies and warm beverages. This service will only be in person and will not be live streamed or recorded. Also, wrestling with our understanding of racism, we'll be discussing the 8th principle today at 11:45 a.m. Classroom A and on Zoom. Don't miss it. I'm sure that'll be a great discussion. And all other announcements are on the slides before and after the service, and then there are also links in the weekly update or on our website, posted in our order of service, which you can access via the QR code. Thanks again for being here in person and online today. Happy holidays.
Please say these words with me as we light our chalice. In the light of truth and the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. Now please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing our opening hymn 398, To See the World. The words will be projected on the screen.
It is so good to be with you this morning, dear ones, as we start this month of December. Before we know it, January will be here. The holidays just tend to speed by with focusing more and more on doing instead of being. So as we explore the theme of wonder this month, let us be intentional about how we engage the season, allowing ourselves to be moved and wowed. Let's take further encouragement from the words of Reverend Gretchen Haley, and I call us to worship with them with Suddenly a awake with awe. Do not fail to be surprised by the catching of your breath, the quickening of your heart, the fullness of your eyes wide and suddenly awake. With awe here, a place filled with wonder, that still there might be something new born today, that might be born anew today. Do not fail to notice the changing, the life full and abundant, already beginning by the promises we make to give, to receive, to become more together, and to forgive again and again. The falling short that is always already here. Here we find ourselves among the courageous, feeling ourselves trying to become brave with each in, each out of breath, each word, each pause, each song. We give thanks to be on this journey. Come, let us worship together. And let's start our worship by greeting one another. So say hello, and Aubrey over there will let us know when we've had enough. No, actually. Yes. May as well go. It is our privilege and honor to take time this morning to welcome our newest formal members of First Unitarian Church of Orlando. Will Kathy Humblett and Allison McMillan, with the membership committee, will you come and join us here, please?
While 1U has both members and friends meaningfully involved in the life of our community, it's a special joy when someone chooses to make the commitment of formal membership because they believe they have found their spiritual home.
When someone is interested in membership at 1U, we suggest that they be around long enough to be sure that this is really a commitment that they wish to make. We also ask that they make sure that they understand the basics of both the First Unitarian Church of Orlando and Unitarian Universalism by attending our Path to Membership course.
Formally, the process of joining involves being at least 18 years old, signing the book of membership, and making a financial pledge. The membership is then registered at the next meeting of the Board of Trustees. 30 days following, the person has the right to vote at meetings of the congregation and to hold certain elected offices.
This morning, we are honored to welcome into our congregation six people. Thank you. Woo-hoo. These individuals have walked among us, found our religious community meaningful, nurturing, and challenging, and have decided to become members with full privileges and responsibilities. We are very blessed to have them join us.
They have lived all over the country. They bring diverse interests and experiences. Some of them have been involved with Unitarian Universalism elsewhere. Others are new, yet kindred spirits. They've explored spirituality and exercised their conscience. They are passionate and caring and creative. They are deeply committed to this adventure of life.
Will Joan Nelson, representing the Board of Trustees, also join us up here?
Allison will now call the names of those who have chosen to be welcomed as members this morning. Will you please come forward as your name is called?
Natalie Holler, Andy Harrell, Lori Mulrooney, Jorge Rodriguez, Natasha Rusnak, Joanna Sandstrom.
Make sure they shake hands. Okay. Well, we can do that.
And then go that way.
There we go.
Welcome. Whichever you prefer. Welcome.
And welcome. All right.
Do you, the newest members of First Unitarian Church of Orlando, accept the challenge of membership, that is to speak the truth in freedom, to search diligently for your own spiritual growing edges, and to love and minister to each other? If so, say I do.
Will the board members, Board of Trustee members, committee chairs, and other leaders of the congregation please rise in spirit or in body or in spirit and remain standing? Do you, the leadership of this congregation, accept the challenges new members offer you? To create and sustain a structure that respects the worth of every person, that honors the democratic process with access to information and decision-making, that recognizes and celebrates individual differences and seeks unity in diversity? If so, please say we do.
We do.
Remain standing. Now, would the rest of the congregation please rise in body or spirit? Do you, members of this beloved community, accept these newest members into your fellowship? Do you promise to make them welcome, to share with them your insights, your concerns, your hospitality, your resources, and your needs? Will you further celebrate the special talents and resources of these new members, recognizing that change and growth or signs of health being open to the enrichment of their presence? If so, say we will.
We will. In recognition of our covenant, let us say together our historic bond of union, which is displayed on the screen and was also in the front of the book that our members signed Friday night at a wonderful potluck event. We associate ourselves together for the study and practice of morality and religion as interpreted by the noblest lives of humanity, hoping thereby to prove helpful to one another and to promote truth, righteousness, and love in the world.
I invite you to welcome our new members with a round of applause.
We invite you all to take your seats. It's so exciting. I love new members. Now, children, we invite you to walk through under the covering that our adults over here are providing for you, to remind you of our love and the protection we offer you here in this community.
I'll introduce myself again, Joan Nelson, President of the Board of Trustees, and we invite you now into the practice of generosity. It is one of the spiritual values which sustains the life and ministries of the church community. Let us be grateful for the opportunity to give, for it is a privilege to be able to do so. And let us be grateful for our needs, for they give us this opportunity to practice receiving. This month is a special month for Share the Plate, and our organization is Shepherd's Hope. And I have the privilege of introducing Jamie Lynch, President of the board, except for 2 days past, which he just shared with me. And he's going to tell us more about Shepherd's Hope. Jamie.
Greetings all. My name is Jamie Lynch, for some of you that I don't know. I am a past member of this congregation, and I'd like to thank Steph Garber and 1U for inviting me to be here today. I am now 2 days past being board chair for Shepherd's Hope. I was that for the last 2.5 years. John Miller has taken that position over from me at this point. So it's lovely to remain a volunteer and see patients in the clinic, which I'll explain in just a moment. This church has a long history of being engaged in our community and helping our community. I was part of the Social Justice Committee back 20 plus years ago, which I would make the case rekindled my light to do social justice work in the community and help out in our community many years ago. I'm a nurse practitioner by day at Orlando Health, and then volunteer at Shepherd's Hope by night most often. Shepherd's Hope is a local free clinic system for those without insurance or underinsured in our community. Of all varieties, folks that are citizens, folks that are visiting. It's been an interesting world throughout the pandemic in caring for folks in the clinics here locally, and we've seen folks literally from all over. We have 4 clinics locally, out in Winter Garden, 1 out in East Orlando, 1 in Longwood, and 1 in downtown Orlando. Monday through Thursday, we provide a walk-in clinic setting, and also on Saturday mornings. We also have good community contacts with specialties, so we're actually able to have some of our folks who need to see specialty clinics be seen there as well. From a community standpoint, these are our neighbors. These are folks living right here within your community, likely members of the church as well as also living in our local community, have for whatever reason are uninsured, and we provide the care for them. As far as opportunities that you and I have to help take care of these folks, I'm honored for Shepherd's Hope to be part of the Share the Plate for this year for 1U. Additionally, on the website we have for Shepherd's Hope, you will see a volunteer button and a pledge and a donate button. So those would be for dollar donations are always helpful to keep all of our clinics running. Also for volunteer work, we have general volunteers, which are folks without a healthcare background, for instance, to help us out getting folks into the clinic, seen, processed through the clinic. Also, we have lots of opportunity for licensed folks, registered nurses, physician assistants, nurse practitioners like myself, physicians, physical therapists, the whole cross-section of folks that we have volunteering in our clinics. We would love to have any of y'all engaged. I will be here after service over in Gore Hall to answer any questions for anyone as well. And again, thank you very much on behalf of Shepherd's Hope for having us as part of the Share the Plate this year. Thank you.
The offering will now be accepted.
Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look, and you'll see into your imagination. We'll begin with a spin, traveling in the world of my creation. What we'll see will defy explanation. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want, do it. Want to change the world, there's nothing to it. There is no life I know to compare with pure imagination. Living there, you'll be free if you truly wish to be.
I think they're still collecting. There we go. That's a good sign that it's taking some time. All right. Look at this. Let us joyfully receive what is offered here today and can be offered online, I should add, in the spirit of gratitude and in fellowship.
This is the time set aside for a deep sharing of our hearts and for prayer and meditation. If you have a sorrow that you need witnessed or helped with, or you have a joy that you wish to share, please contribute to our collective sharing of joys and sorrows to be read here each Sunday during worship. And you can submit your joys and sorrows by email at joysandconcerns@orlandouu during the week. And if you're attending services in person, you can also fill out a card at the registration table outside before coming in, and it will be brought up here, and we will share it for you. And we also, toward the end of this part of our service, we also offer participation in our candle lighting ritual. So those are all different ways of sharing your joys and your sorrows here. But we do ask you to bring your joys, bring your sorrows as you come here, as we gather together. Come as you are. Your whole self is welcome here in this space we are creating together. We have a few joys and concerns from our congregation here. We have from Marty Haney that my husband Pete's Parkinson's has entered a more challenging phase, and all good thoughts and comforting prayers are very much appreciated. Send positive and healing energy to Marty and Pete. We also have from Karen Ramberg, following a fall, I'm doing extremely well and progressing rapidly. I do not need physical therapy and need only rest and time to fully recover. So again, let's send Karen good energy as she heals from this fall. And good to hear that it could have been worse. So she sounds like she's progressing well. And we also have a big thank you to the 40 members of 1U who showed up Saturday morning at Zoom and to discuss building and a culture of inclusion and eighth principle. So much energy, thank you. And I want to add to this thank you. So really, if you think about it, that's a good 20% of the congregation that showed up for this very important workshop we had with Paula Cole-Jones. So thank you for showing up. And as you might have heard, during coffee hour at 11:45, Wrestling with Our Understanding of Racism will have further discussion on the eighth principle. Thank you to Jean, Siegfried and Linda from the flower team. The holiday season poinsettias were placed in the sanctuary on our campus by the two of them. So thank you so much. I'm sure all of us thank them for beautifying our space. The congregation would also like to thank, this is also anonymous. The congregation would love to thank John Brockman for providing the beautiful plaque back there, in memories of Frank Coffer for the artwork that decorates the back wall of the sanctuary. Frank was a longtime member who left his estate to our church along with his wish for a commissioned piece of art, which is that piece of art up there, honoring Unitarian Universalism and his welcoming of the world's religious traditions. So thank you, John, for putting that nice plaque together for us, and with the information that will help us know more about the artwork. And tomorrow is Ben McKay's 96th birthday. Happy birthday, Ben. And of course, we continue to hold the fears and sorrows of all those affected by brutality of wars, political targets, and are impacted adversely in other ways within our local community and out into the larger world community. And for all the joys and sorrows of this community shared, and for those held close to the heart, let us pray, let us celebrate, and let us send healing energy. I invite us into meditative prayer with the word of Kyle Johnson. Sit as comfortably as you can. Close your eyes if that feels good for you. O Spirit that moves in all things, great mystery, whose reach spans beyond the cold, distant edges of our universe, and yet is present within the vast subatomic emptiness, coursing through every fiber and every breath of our being, and through being itself. Help us to see the miracle of the mundane, to see the crystal stars, the shape-shifting clouds, the patient trees, to see each other through fresh eyes. For it is so easy to forget what we truly are and what we've been given as we move through our lives. Let us remember to see through the mundane to the miracle beneath, and to perceive that common substance that gives birth to our myriad forms, the mystery that spans beyond the edges of the universe, and yet infuses our next breath. And let this fundamental awareness guide us on our path as we work towards peace and fight for justice. May it be so. And now, let us bring awe and wonder into our hearts as we participate in our candle lighting ritual. You are invited to come light a candle of remembrance, loving kindness, and or hope. And we will hum, we will sing, we will rock along. Comfort me as Aubrey over there plays at the keyboard. Please come and participate in whatever ways you feel comfortable doing so. So come forward.
Comfort me, oh my soul.
What if there was a universe, a cosmos that began in shining blackness out of nothing, out of fire, out of single silent breath? And into it came billions and billions of stars, stars beyond imagining, and near one of them, a world, a blue-green world so beautiful that learned clergymen could not even speak about it cogently, and brilliant scientists, in trying to describe it, began to sound like poets. With their physics, with their mathematics, their empirical, impressionistic musing. What if there were a universe in which a world was born out of a smallish star, and into that world at some point flew red-winged blackbirds, and into it swam sperms of whales, and into it came crocuses and wind to lift the tiniest hair on naked arms in spring when you run into the mailbox, and into it at some point came onions out of the soil, and come Mount Everest, and also the coyotes you've been seeing in the woods about a mile from here, just after sunrise in these mornings when the moon is full. The very scent of him makes his brother, our dog, insane with fear and joy and ancient inbred memory. Into that world came animals and elements and plants and imagination, the mind and the mind's eyes. If such a universe existed and you noticed it, what would you do? What song would come out of your mouth? What prayer, what praises, what sacred offering, what whirling dance, what religion, and what reverential gestures would you make to greet that world every single day you were in it? These are the words of Victoria Stafford. Jehovah's Witnesses do not believe in hell, as no loving father would condemn his children to eternal torture, and God is the ultimate loving father. They also don't believe in heaven, at least not in the traditional sense that other Christians do. For them, the reward of living a God-fearing life is eternity in an earthly paradise. After all, that's what the earth was created for, to be such a place for humankind. So, at the end of this system of things, Jehovah God will return our planet to its original health and vitality, and the dead will be resurrected, judged either worthy of eternal life or a second permanent death. So, as a young witness who also enjoyed traveling, I was sure that I would be one of the ones chosen for eternal life, and my reward would be then to travel the earth. And one of the things that I was planning on doing with all this free time I was going to have was that I wasn't just going to travel the earth, I was going to walk it. That was my plan. It would not matter, right, how slow I was walking, since I'd have forever. I'd spend all that time going to places, some of the places that are listed on the 7 wonders of the world, or visit their sites if they no longer existed. The 7 wonders of the world. Obviously, such a list captivated me as a young person. And I think I was so enthralled because of this particular wonder here. It's called La Citadelle, and it is located in Haiti. Though it hadn't been considered one of the 7 wonders, it was given the classification of an 8th wonder at some point. It was not so much the monument that was of interest to me, but that something from Haiti was on the list. It is noted that the compilation of such lists go probably as far back as before 425 BC. However, none of those lists survive other than references in literature. So we don't know what was listed on those lists way back when. The earliest one we have is the 7 Wonders of the Ancient World, and it contained the Great Pyramid of Giza in Egypt, which, by the way, is the only one still in existence from that original list. The second one is I decided not to show the picture of it simply because, I don't know people's sensitivities. It was Colossus of Rhodes in the harbor of the city of the same name in the Greek islands, and it is a naked statue of a male body, so I decided that I wouldn't display that for you. And then the other one is the Hanging Garden of Babylon, which were a remarkable feat of engineering with an ascending series of tiered gardens containing a wide variety of trees, shrubs, and vines, resembling a large green mountain constructed of mud bricks. And those were located in the ancient city of Babylon, near Babil province in Iraq. Next one is the Lighthouse of Alexandria, which is located in Egypt. It stands about 330 feet high. And for many centuries, it was one of the tallest man-made structures in the world. It was the 3rd longest surviving of the monuments on that list. Next, we have the Mausoleum of Halicarnassus, and that's located in modern-day Turkey. And that one stood about 148 feet tall, and the 4 sides were adorned with sculptures, and so not only was it tall, it was massive. And this is a replica of it here. Next, the statue of Zeus of Olympia, located in Olympia, Greece. And this one sits about 41 feet tall and is made of gold and ivory on a wooden framework. Next, Temple of Artemis, which is located near present-day Turkey. It was dedicated to the goddess Artemis, who in Greek mythology was the goddess of hunt and nature and wilderness and so on. So, this is the list of the 7 wonders. Oh, yeah, right. And then the picture below is the original site. The top one is a replica also. So, this is the list of the 7 wonders of ancient world which represented the most extraordinary man-made creations of classical antiquity. This list was based on guidebooks that were popular among Greek sightseers during the period when Greece was a thriving empire. And the number 7 typifies perfection to the Greeks and coincided with the number of known planets in ancient times, plus the sun and the moon. So needless to say that we have had numerous lists since that one here. And the current one, which dates back to 2017, has the Great Wall of China on it. And this particular list came as a result of online voting from a selection of 200 existing monuments. Incidentally, the Giza Pyramid did not make it on this list. Yeah. Also, the Taj Mahal in India is on that list, as well as the Redeemer, Christ the Redeemer in Brazil, among others. One of the things that seems apparent to me in looking at all the chosen wonders from the different lists that I looked at is all of them are huge and imposing, so nothing small and intricate seemed to be judged as wondrous. And also lists of other types of wonders have been compiled, such as the American Society of Engineers have put together a list as a tribute to civil engineering achievements. There are also 7 natural wonders of the world, the 7 wonder cities, the 7 wonders of the underworld, wonders of the industrial world, and so on. And countries have compiled lists of their 7 wonders. So as I thought about all these wonders that people are choosing, so I wondered, and other people wonder the same, who gets to decide what a thing of awe, of wonder and delight ought to be for someone or a group of people? This led me to ponder for myself, what moves me to tears? What touches the deepest recesses of my center? What are the 7 wonders of my life? Living with that last question over the past few weeks has been a source of delight for me, and I invite you to spend some time with it as well, and to think about what results in you catching your breath, your heart quickening, what fills your life with joy, which is how Reverend Haley from our opening words described being awakened to awe means. So if you were to take a moment right now, maybe close your eyes or look ahead with a soft gaze and ask yourself the question, what are the 7 wonders of your life? What one thing rises to the surface for you? So go ahead and do that. We'll do that for about a minute. Try to quiet the chatter in your mind. Welcome the silence. See what comes up. Did anything come up for you? I invite you to take these questions with you today and continue to engage them. I want to share with you, pondering this question specifically, the wonders of my life, and those other things I mentioned, like what moves me, what makes my breath quiver. I came up with this list. It was hard, really, to narrow it down to 7, but keeping true to the exercise, I did. And my list, which has a lot of non-tangibles in it: music, love, friendship, trees, spiritual communities, people, and me. Let me tell you briefly about what why these 7 things are on my list of 7 wonders. Music, for example, but song specifically, that is words accompanied by music, especially move me. I'm in awe at how a song can affect my mood. They can intensify a feeling for me if I wish to go deeper, or release me from something that's holding me. I'm even in awe at how I sometimes deny myself music, knowing at how powerful it can be. So I know if I just listen to music, I can let go of this. But I may want to sit with it a little bit longer, reflect some more, and then I will hold off. So I'm in awe of that, and love and all of its manifestation. This thing that we can't quite describe, but we seem to understand when we say it or when we feel it. And the more of it we give, the more we seem to have to give. That is an incredible thing to me. My first love, for example, that of from my grandfather, from whom I learned that I was brilliant, I was beautiful, and I was powerful. That's what the love of my grandfather did for me. The love of a pet, that can feel so sweet and innocent. From a lover or partner, that can be so exhilarating and life-changing. From family, friends, community. In our culture, there is such an emphasis on romantic love that we sometimes undervalue other loves. So internalizing that I am rich in love and am accompanied by it, that sustains me. And I invite you to pay attention to all the different ways that love shows up in your life. Friendship. People who you meet and you click, and how some people you click with just very easily, and other people, it's almost like you repel them or they repel you. That is, to me, such an interesting thing, and how friendship itself can save life. It has saved my life. I think I talked a little bit about my relationship with my family, and so friends have always been family to me. And so it has not only saved my life, it has given me a place to rest. This past Thanksgiving, I spent it with friends who have known me since I was a child. And it's always good to have people like that in your life. The other thing with friends is, right, we get to choose them when family just are imposed upon us, which could be good and bad. Trees. I think you've heard me mention trees before here. You know, trees just doing their thing just soothe my spirit. I especially love watching them dance and sway, which I sometimes record, and I want to share just a brief recording with you. I'm just wanting to watch those trees sway together, dance together, touching. The movement of trees has really soothed me and kind of make me want to sway with them also, which I do often. But I'm just watching these two. Yeah, sometimes I just can't help it. I just have to record it and watch it at a later time. Spiritual communities. That's something else that's on my list. As you can see, I've made my life's work that. And when I mentioned, I started this sermon speaking about Jehovah's Witnesses and that journey, how it just seems that all of us are trying to make meaning of this life that we are thrown into, right? And we all have different ways of making meanings. I was a Jehovah's Witness because that's the faith tradition that I was raised in. And I imagine many of you, the faith tradition that you were raised in, obviously you're here, and some of you were raised but all over the world, by accident, we start our journey of faith. And then as we get older, many of us, especially I think those of us who are UUs, kind of take a closer look of where we are, which is why the fourth principle is the one right now that speaks to me the most, that responsibility to do that work of truth and meaning. People. Reverend Sherry Halliday Kwan, who I worked with in Rochester, used to say, people are peoply, which I'm kind of bummed that I didn't come up with. That is such a cool way to describe people. And I am one of those people who are people watchers, and I believe myself to be very good at reading body language and intuit what is going on with someone. And I'm especially in awe at just how different we all are, and how right it is really for each one of us if we can just be allowed to be who we are. I think when we try to make other people the way we are, to make ourselves comfortable, we don't only do them a disservice, we do ourselves a disservice. And then the last one, me, and I'm gonna read this poem for you, which spells it out for me. Today, I saw myself for the first time when I dusted off the mirror of my mind, and the woman looking back took my breath away. Who was this beautiful beastling, this extra celestial earthling? I touched my face, and my reflection touched the woman of my dreams, all her gorgeous smirking back at me. My knees surrendered to the earth, and I wept and sighed at how I'd gone my whole life, being myself, but not seeing myself. Spent decades living inside my body, never left it once, yet managed to miss all its miracle. Isn't it funny how you can occupy a space without being in touch with it? How it took so long for me to open my eyes, the eyes of my eyes, embrace the heart of my heart, kiss the sole of my swollen feet, and hear them whisper, "Thank you, thank you. Thank you for noticing you have everything to gain from believing in yourself. Yet you spend all your time in self-doubt. There is a conversation happening inside of you. Pay deep attention to what your inner world is saying. I stopped resisting the unpleasant feelings and accepting that happiness has nothing to do with feeling good at all, feeling good all the time." And this is by Rupi Kaur. This has become one of my favorites, as it speaks to the willingness to see ourselves fully, to be curious about ourselves. Out of all the wonders of my life, that's the one I find most interesting, and maybe that I'm most curious about. Not because I'm so special or anything like that, but because I surprise myself sometimes and wonder why I make a particular choice, right? Or why I do certain things. And we all pay so much attention and are so good to other people in our lives at noticing the brilliance in other people, and we don't always take the time to be in awe of ourselves. This being curious about ourselves, I believe, allows us to let life reveal itself to us, to reveal all the things it has to show us. And that's always beautiful, even when there is pain in it. John O'Donohue said, if we could truly see ourselves, we wouldn't be able to stand it. So may you open the eyes of your eyes and see the beautiful beastling that you are. And I ask you, what are the 7 wonders of your life? Please rise and body your spirit and join me in singing hymn number 139, Wonders Still the World Shall Witness. The words will be projected on the screen.
Days
required of us. That is to take life whole, the sunlight and shadows together, to live the life that is given us with courage and humor and truth. We have such a little moment out of the vastness of time for all a wondering and loving. Therefore, let there be no half-heartedness. Rather, let the soul be ardent in its pain and its yearning and its praise. Then shall peace enfold our days, and glory shall not fade from our lives. Reverend Gibbons. Beloveds, worship has ended, and now the service truly begins.
Please say these words with me as we extinguish the chalice. We extinguish the flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Deceptive cadence.